Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, starring the entire Nelson family, Ozzie, Harriet, David, and Ricky. Here is Ozzie, who plays the part of Ozzie Nelson. And, of course, his lovely wife, Harriet, as Harriet Nelson. The older of the Nelson boys, David, appears as David Nelson. And his younger brother, Ricky, played by Ricky Nelson.
How's the book?
Oh, it's pretty good so far.
I read it about a year ago. You know who the murderer is yet?
Well, no, I just started. I've only read about 10 pages.
I knew who did it by the time I'd read 5 pages.
Well, how could you have known that? Nobody's even been killed yet.
I knew it was going to happen and who was going to do it.
How did you know that?
Women's intuition.
Just what does that mean?
Plain, simple logic.
Well, what's simple about a woman's logic?
Do you know who did it?
I told you I'm only on page 10.
Who do you think did it?
Well, there've only been about a half a dozen characters mentioned so far. The gardener, Mrs. Thompson, Hans, Rodney, the husband, and Grandma Fenley.
Well?
It's probably Grandma Fenley. It usually turns out to be those kindly old ladies.
Nope, sorry. It was Rodney.
What did you have to tell me for?
You asked me.
Well, I know, but besides, how could you have figured out it was Rodney?
It was easy. He was the only one who was mean to his wife.
Are you kidding?
Well, he was. He said she couldn't buy any new clothes. I think that's mean.
But that's the kind of reasoning you'd expect to find in a book written by a woman.
Who do you think wrote that?
Terry McDonald.
Who do you think she is?
Well, he's a man.
Oh, really? How do you know?
Well, Jack told me.
Jack who?
Jack the banana split man. You know, the guy down at the malt shop?
Well, just because he makes a good banana split doesn't mean he's a literary critic. That's the paperback edition. The copy I read had a picture of Terry McDonald on the back, and she's a very attractive young woman.
Well, Terry's a man's name.
Not always. You follow my logic?
Well, yeah, I guess I do.
Good. Now we can get back to that first statement you made.
I'm not sure what it was, but obviously I never should have made it.
Why should a woman mystery writer's reasoning be any different than a man's?
Well, a man's logic is based on fact. And what a woman calls logic is based on emotion.
Pardon me, is this a good time to ask for a favor?
Well, I'm not sure. We're having a little book discussion.
What book are you discussing?
This 20 Minutes to Kill is sort of a classic.
I read it. She's a pretty good writer.
How did you know a woman wrote this?
Oh, by the story. It's a typical example of a woman's logic.
There, you see?
Well, it doesn't take much logic to figure out you were listening at the door.
I guess this is the wrong time.
What did you want, Dave?
Well, Rick's using his car tomorrow and mine's in the shop. I need a ride home from the office.
Well, I'll tell you what. Clara's going to the dressmaker's tomorrow, and then she's supposed to meet June Williams in front of the Emporium. So if you go over to the Emporium and meet Mrs. Williams, then Clara can pick up the two of you and bring you over to the woman's club, and then we can all ride home together.
I think that just about proves my point.
What do you mean?
Well, wouldn't it be much easier if you just took the bus home?
Yeah, I think Pop's right. I think I'll take the bus home.
See how simple it is?
Well, I was just trying to save him car fare.
Dave?
What's this?
Your car fare. It's worth it to win an argument from your mother.
Miss Edwards?
Yes, sir.
You know what happened to those depositions I took in the Kramer case?
Oh, I haven't, Mr. Kelly. I've been reading them.
Oh, pretty interesting, aren't they?
Yes, sir.
Did you find the big discrepancy in the Kramer testimony?
No, sir. Of course, I haven't read very much of it yet.
Well, it might be well worth your while to take it home over the weekend. Read it carefully.
I'd like to.
Okay. But don't lose it. I've got all my notes in the back there, and I wouldn't want the opposition to know that I know what they think I don't know.
Very careful with it.
Excuse me, Mr. Kelly, but you're going to be late.
Oh. Thank you.
Do you have the new golf balls you bought?
Doggone. What would I do without you? Miss Edwards? Dave?
Yes, sir.
What did I do with those golf balls?
Here Here they are in the wastebasket.
I chipped them in there yesterday.
Well, have a nice weekend.
Thank you. Same to you.
Hey, it's almost 12 o'clock. Why don't you close up?
Well, thank you.
We'll see you Monday morning.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Mr. Kelly.
I can't figure out how such a disorganized man can be such a good lawyer.
Did you ring?
Yes, sir.
Going down.
After you.
Thank you. Oh, hi, Mom.
Hi, dear.
Thought you were going to the women's club.
Oh, I changed my mind. You're home early, aren't you?
Yeah, kind of.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Pop.
I take it Mr. Kelly's out playing golf again this afternoon?
Yeah.
You know, I hate to say this, Dave, but sometimes I wonder how he ever wins a case.
Oh, he's a brilliant man, Pop. You ought to see how disorganized he is.
What's that?
Take this case he's working on now. The other side probably thinks they've got it won. But Mr. Kelly found a big discrepancy in Mr. Kramer's story.
What kind of a discrepancy?
I don't know. I haven't finished reading the deposition yet. Holy smokes.
What's the matter?
Well, I can't find the deposition. I put it in here this... What's this? Hey, this isn't my briefcase.
Well, are you sure?
Well, yeah. Wait a second. The man sitting next to me on the bus had a briefcase. He must have taken mine.
Oh, that's a shame, Dave, but that's not the only copy of the deposition, is it?
Well, it's the only one that has all of Mr. Kelly's notes in the back.
Well, won't he remember them?
Well, that's not the point. If the people we're suing get a hold of them, we're in a lot of trouble. At least I'm in a lot of trouble.
Well, maybe he's got some identification in there.
No, just this little package.
Is his name on it?
No, it says, "To my little teddy bear with all my love, sign me."
What are you laughing at? You used to call me Dollface. You sure there's no identification in here, Dave?
No, I looked all through it.
Does your briefcase have your name on it, Dave?
No, just my initials. Well, this is great.
Well, why don't you phone the bus company? They usually have a lost and found department.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Harriet, I never called you Dollface.
Oh, that's right. I guess it wasn't you.
Harriet.
Lost and found department.
My name is David Nelson. I lost my briefcase on one of your buses this afternoon.
Oh, I see. Approximately when did you lose it?
Well, just a little while ago. See, I was on the Lake Street bus, and I picked up this other man's briefcase by mistake.
Oh, you took somebody else's briefcase.
Well, yes, evidently we switched them accidentally, and I thought he might call and try to reach me.
Oh, well, what is your name, please? Uh-huh. And your address? And phone number? All right, thank you. Now, is your name on the briefcase?
Just my initials, DN. The one I picked up has no name on it, but there's a package in it that says to Teddy Bear.
Teddy bear? You lost a teddy bear?
No, that's on the package.
Oh, I see. Well, I tell you, I'll call you if anything turns up. Now, what's your phone number? Oh, yes. You gave me that already. Yeah. Well, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
What'd they say?
Oh, they'll call me if anything turns up.
Well, I'll get lunch started.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it too much, Dave. It's bound to turn up sooner or later.
Well, I hope so. I just thought of something. You know that man that was sitting next to me on the bus? Well, he was standing out in the hall when I left the office.
Yeah?
And then outside, I stopped at the newspaper stand, and he came up right behind me. We both got on the same bus.
What, do you think he was following you?
I don't think so. Why would he do that?
Well, he probably just works in the same building.
Well, could be. Have you ever seen this man in the building before?
No, I don't think so.
Well, why would anybody want to follow Dave?
Maybe he wanted to get those papers he was carrying. They were important, weren't they?
Well, only to people connected with the case.
That must be it.
Well, no, in the first place, how would the man know Dave had the papers in his briefcase? And even if he did, why would he leave Dave a briefcase with a present in it?
I don't know. Of course, it's perfectly obvious. Dave said the man was standing in the hall. He could have overheard that Dave was carrying the papers.
Well, what about the present?
Well, the present could be a false lead to throw us off the track. No. On second thought, any man who calls his wife Teddy Bear can't be all bad.
Well, I tell you what you do. You try and figure this out the best way you can, and meanwhile, Dave and I will apply a little masculine logic, and we'll find the briefcase.
Hey, maybe that's lost and found. Hello?
Hello, is this David Nelson?
Yes, it is.
Oh, well, Mr. Nelson, I have good news for you. We found your teddy bear.
Well, let's take this step by step, Dave. You say the man got on the elevator in your building, got on the bus with you, and sat next to you?
That's right.
And he had a briefcase just like yours?
Well, at least it was very similar.
Well, it seems to me it's quite evident, either by accident or design, he picked up your briefcase, and you subsequently picked up his.
That sounds very good, dear.
Oh, thank you.
Now, how does he get his briefcase back?
Harriet, I'm trying to take this step by step and follow it through to a logical conclusion.
And you're doing a beautiful job.
Well, thank you. Of course, I can be wrong, but I think it's possible that this man works in your building.
Well, yeah, it's possible. After all, it's a pretty big building.
Well, okay, if we assume then that the man works in the building, the best place to start would be right there.
Yeah, that's logical. Do you want to come along with me?
Yeah, and we better take the briefcase and the present. They may come in handy.
And phone in every once in a while. I want to know how you private eyes are doing.
He's about 5'10". He was wearing a gray top coat and a gray hat, and he was carrying a briefcase.
It was a brown briefcase like that one.
No, I don't know him.
Well, it's possible he might be a new tenant. Are there any new tenants in the building?
Well, I wouldn't be too sure about that. See, I'm new on the job myself.
Yeah, that's right. You haven't been working here very long, have you?
No, I just started Thursday. You fellas want the 5th floor?
Yeah, that's right, Fifth.
Yeah, good. I haven't been able to let anybody off the 6th floor. Door's been stuck all morning. 5th floor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry I couldn't help you.
Oh, that's okay. Thanks just the same. Now, let's retrace your steps, Dave.
I came out of the office,
You came out of the office,
and I walked over to the elevator.
walked over to the elevator, and then what?
And I pushed the button.
Yeah, you pushed the button.
Then the man came down the hall and stood behind me,
Where'd he stand?
right where you are.
And did he say anything to you?
Yeah, he asked me if I'd pushed the button for the elevator yet, and I said yes.
And then what happened?
Then the elevator came.
Going down.
I'm sorry, I pushed the button by mistake.
Oh, that's okay.
Thanks just the same. See, where does this door lead?
That's the stairway.
Hey, I'll bet this is it.
What?
Well, the elevator operator said something about the elevator door on the 6th floor being stuck all morning. So maybe the man's office is on the 6th floor, and he walked down to the 5th to take the elevator.
Yeah, you could be right.
Well, come on, let's go up and take a look around. See anything here that gives you any clue?
No.
Well, come on, we might as well take a look around.
Well, most of the offices are closed.
Hey, here's one that's open. It's a jewelry store. Hey, Dave, take a look at that package, the gift. It may be jewelry.
Yeah, it could be jewelry.
I'll bet the man bought it here.
May I help you?
Yes, I wonder if you recognize this.
This is our gift wrapping.
Oh, do you happen to know who bought it?
What is it?
Well, I don't know. See, my son found it in his briefcase. That is not his briefcase. The briefcase belongs to the man who bought that.
We're trying to find him so we can return it.
Well, maybe it'd help to know what was in it.
Do you remember selling that?
No, but maybe Mr. Lee does.
Oh, is he here?
I'm sorry, he just left for the weekend.
Oh.
Well, don't you usually make out a sales slip? It might have his name on it.
Oh, yes, we do. When was it purchased?
Oh, probably sometime this morning.
Well, let's take a look. Oh, yes, here it is.
What's the name?
There's no name on it. Whoever bought it paid cash.
Looks like we've run into a dead end, Pop.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't help.
Oh, that's all right.
Would you like me to wrap it again?
Yeah, would you please, as a gift?
I don't see any point to this, Pop.
Well, if the man knew there was a jewelry shop on this floor, Dave, there's a good chance his office is up here. Hey, maybe this guy can help us. Pardon me.
I'll be right with you.
How's that?
That's very good.
It's fine. Is he a new tenant?
Well, yes, Mr. Harris.
Well, could you tell me, are there any other new people in this building?
Yes, there's a Marvin Watson.
What floor is he on?
Well, usually the ground floor. He's the new elevator operator.
Yes, we met him.
This Mr. Harris, could you describe him to us?
Always. You guys aren't process servers, are you?
No. See, we have this briefcase that doesn't belong to us, and we're looking for the owner, and we thought maybe it might be Mr. Harris.
Oh, it's about like that. It's just a pretty average-looking fella.
Did you see him this morning?
Yes.
Do you remember what he was wearing?
Well, let me think. An eggshell white shirt, cadmium red tie, Aztec gray topcoat, hat, and burnt sienna briefcase.
Burnt sienna?
Well, that's brown.
That sounds like him, Pop. You don't happen to know where he lives, do you?
No. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, no, we'll take it from here. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, fellas. If you guys are process service, don't tell Mr. Harris that I said anything. He hasn't paid me yet.
Oh, no.
There are about 15 Harrises in here whose names begin with F.
Well, he took the same bus as you did. He must live out in our general direction. Why don't you take a look at the addresses?
Looks like nobody's home.
Why don't you try it again? Mr. Harris?
Yes?
That's not the man, Pop.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope I didn't disturb you.
No, I was just taking a shower.
Oh.
Yes?
Oh, we're looking for Francis Harris.
That's me.
I was sure I was right, Pop. When it's Francis with an E-S, it's a girl.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. You're not the party he's looking for.
I'm sorry.
So am I.
Yes?
Hi.
Well, hello there, young man.
This is the right man, Pop.
Oh, good.
I think I've got your briefcase.
You have?
Yes, sir. Evidently, you picked up the wrong one on the bus this morning.
No, I don't think so. Well, just a second. Mine's right here on the hall table. No, this is mine, all right. It's got my initials on it. FWH.
Well, this one has your package in it.
What package?
Well, this one.
To my little teddy bear with all my love.
What's this?
We were just returning your husband's package.
Now, just a second. This isn't my package.
Who is Teddy Bear?
I don't know any teddy bear.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Obviously, there's been a mistake. I'm sorry to have troubled you. Come on, Dave.
Now, what's this all about, Fenimore?
I tell you, I don't know any more about it than you do.
How'd you make out?
Not so good.
We tracked down the man, but he didn't have the briefcase.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it if I were you.
Well, gee, Mom, that deposition is important.
Yeah, I know it. I located it.
My briefcase?
Uh-huh. It's on its way over here now.
Well, how'd you do that?
Oh, just used a little feminine logic.
What are you talking about?
Well, the card read, to my little teddy bear with love. Well, now, what do bears like? Honey. Honey comes from bees. B stands for Betty, so the man's wife's name must be Betty.
Who cares about the man's wife's name? What's his name?
You'll find out.
I'll get it. Well, Mr. Kelly, come on in.
Thank you, David. Hello, Mr. Nelson.
Oh, hi, Mr.
Hello,
Kelly.
Mr. Kelly.
David, here's your briefcase. I seem to have picked it up at the office by mistake.
I guess we got them mixed up.
Yeah.
Here's yours.
Oh, thank you. Was there a...
Yes, it's right in there.
I was afraid I'd lost it. You see, today's my wife's birthday. When I got home from the golf club, I went to give her her present, and, well, being a married man yourself, Mr. Nelson, you can realize the reaction I got when I couldn't find it.
Oh, I know just what you mean.
Well, thank you again. I'm sorry to have caused you this trouble.
Oh, it's no trouble at all. It's been very interesting. And tell Betty we wish her a happy birthday.
Betty?
Yes, your wife, Betty.
Oh, thank you. Her name is Florence.
Oh, well, anyway, tell her we wish her happy birthday.
Speaking of my wife, I suppose you read the card. It's kind of embarrassing.
Oh, don't be silly. Ozzie used to call me Dollface.
Oh, did he? Well, that's, yeah, well, I've got to be getting along here. I'll see you Monday, David. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye. So you figured out his wife's name was Betty.
Well, I'm entitled to one little mistake. You must admit I figured out the briefcase belonged to Mr. Kelly.
Now, just a second. If you figured out the briefcase belonged to Mr. Kelly because of his wife, and yet you had his wife's name wrong, how did you connect him with it?
Oh, well, that was the easiest part. Just plain simple logic.
Go ahead.
Well, Mr. Kelly phoned while you were out.
If he phoned, where does the logic come in?
Well, as soon as he told me that he'd picked up David's briefcase, I immediately figured David must have picked up his. Wasn't that clever?
Oh, that was fantastic.
Thank you, dear.
Pop,
Yeah?
did you really used to call Mom Dollface?
Well, no, I didn't. Harriet, that calls for an explanation.
Well, I just said that because Mr. Kelly seemed so embarrassed.
No, I'm not talking about that. You said this afternoon it was somebody else who used to call you Dollface. Now, who was it?
Well, you know him. You've met him lots of times. In fact, he was at our wedding.
He was?
Mm-hmm. He was that tall, handsome man who walked down the aisle with me. He gave the bride away.
You mean Grandpa Hilliard?
That's right, my dad.
I'm a little disappointed. Didn't you ever have a pet name for Mom? You know, something special just between the two of you?
Well, yes, I did. Come on, Chowderhead. How about dinner?
Okay.